Welcome to First Time Watching. Now that Halloran's true powers are released, it's time to dive into the recap of the 6th episode of HBO's new hit horror series, It. Welcome to Derry.
And a ribbon in my hair.
At Juniper Hill back in 1935, a nurse wakes up one of the kids in the middle of the night. She wants to take the girl, Mabel, to the asylum's basement. Once they arrive, the nurse asks if this is where the clown told her to meet him, and they see a red balloon float away. Mabel is terrified, but the nurse is intrigued. The clown walks around the corner and looks straight at them. In the present, Will is getting scolded by his dad. Charlotte tries to defend their son, but Hanlon doesn't know how to explain things because she wasn't there. Will tries to tell his dad that the monster has been attacking them for some time already, but Hanlon doesn't believe him. In his mind, the monster only strikes in the sewers. Will insists, saying he taught him to always stand up for his friends. Hanlon says they are not the same, so Will replies that he's right because he would never let his friends die. Hanlon smacks him across the face. Will breaks down, telling his dad it's gotten inside his head and runs away from home. All through town, there are wanted posters. Everyone is looking for Ronnie's dad. At the lookout, Lily shows the others the dagger and says the clown was afraid of it, but when Will wants to examine it, Lily becomes protective and insists on holding it. She proposes they all go back down there to kill the clown with the dagger, but Ronnie thinks she's insane. When Ronnie calls her crazy, Marge notices Lily getting ready to attack her, so she tries to snap her out of it and disarm her, but Lily gets angry and warns her not to touch her dagger. She tells Ronnie that she didn't see what happened in the theater, and when Maddie gave them the tiniest chance that Phil might still be alive, she had to hold on to that with everything she had. Rich tries to calm them down, saying this is what the clown wants for them to fight, but Ronnie gets in Lily's face and says they should have never let her out of Juniper Hill, then storms off. Halloran arrives back at the clubhouse, and his buddies are surprised to see him. They wondered where he'd been. As one of them walks over with a drink, Halloran sees something unsettling. His friends worry about him, but they also have something important to tell him. Ronnie storms off and Will follows her. He tells her she went a little too far. He understands she's scared, but she can't say things like that to her friends. Ronnie hugs him for being honest. They almost kiss, but Will's mom honks her horn and tells them both to get in the car. Halloran's friends reveal that they're hiding Hank in the clubhouse. Halloran hates the idea of harboring an escaped convict, but Hank promises he won't cause trouble, and that's when Charlotte and the kids walk in. Ronnie is thrilled, which annoys the hell out of Halloran. Charlotte thanks Halloran for helping, but he didn't help and wants no part in any of this. She asks Will if he wants to talk about what happened with his dad, but he says no. At the lookout, Marge is checking her eye when Rich appears behind her. He offers to help her change the bandage, and she clearly needs it. Her eye looks rough, but Rich thinks it's pretty cool. He wonders if Lily is right and the dagger is their only chance of surviving, and Marge clearly likes him. Halloran wakes from an alcohol-induced sleep when Hanlon knocks on his door. He wants to know where Halloran has been. He has new orders from the general. Halloran tries to tell him the general should stop hunting the monster, but gets distracted by the half-faced man standing behind Hanlon. Hanlon wants to know what happened. He stayed down there for hours after everyone else left. Halloran explains that the powers he got as a kid let him see dead people. His grandma had a touch of the shine too, not as strong, but she taught him to imagine a big box and lock away everything he didn't want to see. He was 9 when he did that. He hasn't seen the ghosts since until yesterday, when the monster forced its way in and ripped the lid off that box. If he doesn't pay attention to the ghosts, they won't notice him, but if he does, the voices won't stop. They know things the living don't, things they're not supposed to know. Hanlon doesn't see things the way Halloran does. He lost his best friend and almost lost his son, but Halloran says Hanlon doesn't care. He's a bootlicker who jumps when the general calls. He yells at him to get out, the major does, but not before reminding him that if he doesn't do his job, he'll be leaving in handcuffs. Hanlon goes home. Charlotte is packing her bags, and his son is nowhere to be seen. She reminds him that earlier that day he put his hands on their son. He knows, but says it wasn't him. It was what happened in the sewer. Charlotte hugs him as he apologizes, but when he starts talking about saving the country, her sympathy disappears. He put their family in a cage with a monster. He insists he didn't know. She tells him there's a lot he doesn't know, like the fact that Hank is hiding at Halloran's hangout, and tomorrow morning she's getting Hank out of town, and she and Will are leaving this cursed place with or without him. Then she storms out. Lily sits in class, but can't stop hearing the clown's words. She clutches the dagger. When she opens her dad's desk. Her father's tentacled corpse is inside, asking who's going to help her now. When he vanishes, she just looks insane in front of the whole class again. At lunch, Rich and Marge talk about hearing voices in the pipes, which made it hard to sleep. Rich gives Marge an eye patch as a gift. She loves it. With it, she looks like a nerdy pirate. Patty approaches their table and asks where she's been all this time, but Marge is done with them. She pulls off the patch and bandage, shows her wound, and tells Patty she's a freak, so leave her alone. Rich has never been prouder. Will, Rich, and Marge bike to the clubhouse to convince Ronnie to join them in killing the clown. The soldiers really clean the place up. Will knocks on the back door and Ronnie opens it. Lily bikes back to Mrs. Kirsch's home. The neighbor watches her and laughs maniacally as she lets herself in. Lily can't find her, so she follows the music upstairs. On the desk, she finds a picture book. They are wedding photos of Kirsch and her husband. Inside, she finds a picture of a man who looks very much like the clown. Behind her, Mrs. Kirsch walks up the stairs. She asks Lily what she's doing there. Lily asks if she's okay and explains they went into the sewers. Mrs. Kirsch embraces her, but Lily notices a photo in the back. It's a photo of a clown. The orderly tells Lily she is safe with her. Then she realizes Lily has seen the clown. She knows it. She brought him back. In the attic is her old clown costume. She followed the kids to the cemetery. She was the figure they photographed. Kirsch holds Lily's hands tightly and explains that her father was a carnival performer, a clown he called himself Pennywise, the dancing clown. The carnival left Derry, but she stayed. She felt drawn to it. While working at Juniper Hill, she was the young nurse that heard Mabel talk about the clown in the pipes, calling her to the basement. So she took the girl down there, where she found Pennywise, the dancing clown. He rushed toward them, greeted Mabel, and gave her a balloon. He looked at Kirsch. She looked back and called him Papa. Then he opened his mouth and lunged. They ran, but Mabel tripped. A door slammed shut behind Kirsch, forcing her to watch Pennywise eat the girl as blood seeped out beneath the door. Music starts playing, and the orderly stands again. She looks through the door window. Pennywise appears as her father. He tells her he missed her all these years, that she shouldn't be afraid. He can explain she just needs to open the door. She walked toward it and opened it. It was him, different, changed, but still him. For a moment, she felt whole again, but every time he returned, the shadow stole her father away. So she did whatever she could to see him again. If only he could see her the same way she sees him, she knows he could break free. Lily begs her not to hurt her, but Kirsch says she never intended to. She just needs Lily to understand if she could see her father again, hold him, be his little girl, she would do anything. Lily tells her her father's dead. Kirsch says no one ever truly dies in Derry. Lily pulls out the dagger, slices Kirsch's hand, and runs. The guys try to convince Ronnie to join them, but she refuses. She's not risking her life and storms out. Will follows. He tries to convince her father to let her go with them. He's barking up the wrong tree. There's no way he'll let his little girl get hurt, but he appreciates that Will wants to protect her. He asks about Will's intentions. Meanwhile, the white community meets to discuss where Hank might be hiding. The police chief walks in and says he already knows so they can stop guessing, but he can't arrest anyone because he was relieved of duty by the mayor that morning. They wonder why he's telling them that. Halloran, half spaced out, wanders into the party. Rich takes Marge to the bar for a drink. They're clearly vibing but confused by a bit of dirty dancing. The bartender gives them a rum and coke instead of a regular coke. Will and Hank hit it off, which comforts Hank if anything ever happened to him. He's glad there are good people looking out for his daughter. The kids are getting slowly drunk when Will returns with bad news. Ronnie won't be joining them. A guy from the band notices Rich holding drumsticks and asks him to fill in because their drummer passed out. Marge encourages him and he's in. The kid's a natural. As Rich plays, Marge completely falls for him. The kid is apparently a jazz drumming prodigy. Meanwhile, Mrs. Kirsch dresses up as the clown Miss Pennywinkle. Outside the clubhouse, a man is trying to flirt with a girl when a group of cars pulls up. It's the chief and his buddies from the bar, all wearing masks and carrying guns. And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.